30 XP in 5 minutes. What clickbait? I got this within 4 minutes. What's up guys, 867716 here, and welcome back to my first automation tutorial. Now in this video I'm going to show you how to build an XP farm that can get you 30 XP within 5 minutes by taking down a bunch of zombified piglins. Now before we get into this video, I'd like to say that if you enjoy my content, why not leave a like, and you can also subscribe to my channel to see more and support my channel. And anyway, this is how the basic thing works. It uses, well, this part here, you don't usually talk about that. That's for payment system. I tried to build a paying system when I built this for Obsidian Craft, but unfortunately due to the series never lasting that long, I never implemented it. But what the basis is you like throw a snowman at this pig will anger those, and then those pigs will end up coming to here, and this ether hopper timer will control these pistons to, like, kill the piglins, and then the items go into these hoppers so you can get gold nuggets, rotting flesh, and gold swords. But you usually just reject the gold swords, unless you want to go through the time to build a huge furnace array. But that might be slightly impractical. Anyway, I'll just transfer to a world to help you know how to build this. Before you start building the XP grinder, you're gonna have to look for very specific biomes in order to do it. The whole thing, well at least the part with the pigmen, has to be built in either a crimson forest or the nether wastes. Anywhere else and it won't work. So as you can see by my biome location, it says that I am in the nether wastes as it's shown just above local difficulty. So it needs to be either the nether waste or the crimson forest, because those are the only two biomes that zombified piglins will spawn in. Okay, so this is all the gear you are going to need to build your zombified piglin grinder for XP. You need 3 stacks of cobblestone, 9 comparators, 4 pistons, sticky pistons that is. You need a lamp, you need a redstone block, you need a couple of stacks of redstone dust for the wiring, you need 4 torches, you need 3 repeaters, you need about 9 stacks of magma blocks at least to make it a decent grinder, but I recommend 17. And you need glass, you need a couple of stacks of snowballs to aggro the pigmen, you need 112 ladders to get from bedrock layer all the way up to Y240. Y240 is optimum for this area. It's low enough that you can expand it a bit, but it's high so it doesn't allow zombified piglins to spawn below. You need 30 chests for the item sorter, 2 more for like spare stuff. You need some composters for lag prevention on above the hoppers. You need some placeholder items in the hoppers for the item sorter. You need either a name tag for one of the zombified piglins, or a boat for a couple of zombified piglins, and you can add a couple more boats to make better line of sight. I recommend taking an enchanting table and some books so you don't have to go to and fro from your base. A grindstone so you can disenchant your items, and an anvil so you can like add books and rename stuff. A lever to turn the whole thing on. Hoppers for the item sorters. Droppers for the item elevators, and the item dispenser for the lava thing. Lava bucket to destroy all the excess gold swords. Some potions of slow falling help you when you're building in case you fall off, or if you're good with an ender pearl or a slime block you use them instead. You can also use potions of fire resistance while you're on the magma blocks so you don't have to shift, but then it also might be a good idea to shift in case you fall off. You need a trapdoor to prevent the zombified piglins from bottlenecking near the exit. A stone cutter so you can build all your stone slabs you need. And a crafting table so you can like do your necessary crafting. So this will be all the stuff you need for this zombified piglin grinder. Start by building a platform all the way up to level 240. So you gotta do that in the Y-axis. And then once you get it up there, you also need to place ladders. Now, to get above the nether, I've done a tutorial which I will link in the description. And so you can make a way to get above the nether, you can use like the bud piston TNT design, or portal linking, or you can do the minecart thing. But there are a couple ways you can do it, so I'll just build this up to 240. Okay, I'm at the top of the pole I built, and as you can see by my Y coordinates, it's exactly at 240. So this is going to be the best place to start building your farm. Okay, now that you're up here, what you want to do is start to build a slab platform here. It has to be built out of half slabs on the bottom of the block. Otherwise, piglins and zombified piglins will spawn here. Yeah, I've just done the maths. This is about a 10 by 12 space, with the offset 4 from the ladder, and an offset of roughly 5. Not necessarily needs to be accurate for this direction, but it's a good idea to have it somewhat accurate here so you can get right up to where the piglins are. But it's not necessary either. So what you're going to do now is you're going to want to build 25 blocks from this block. So this is going to account for how far it is to get to where the piglins spawn, because zombified piglins, they spawn 25 blocks away from where you are standing. Same with all other mobs, so you want to build 25 blocks before you start building your spawning platform. Once you're about 25 blocks away from your main platform, it has to be 25. It doesn't matter if it's a teeny bit more, but I like to be precise. What you want to do here is build about 16 blocks here. And this will be the start of the lower spawning platform. Now, depending on whether you have 9 or 17 stacks of magma blocks, build 8 to 16, and then fill in this entire area. So then this will make the whole, like, right wing of the lower spawning platform. And once you have it around here, you just fill the whole thing up. So you only build 8 blocks out if you have 9 stacks, but build 16 blocks out if you have 17 stacks, and then you just gotta fill the rest in. Now, in survival mode, you can either use a fire res potion, or you shift while you place it, and you won't take damage. Also, it's a good idea to shift anyways, to limit you falling off. But if you do fall off, it's a good idea to have some slow falling potions, or if you're one of the more reckless types, a slime block. Once you have the eastern side done, you do the same thing over this side, build 8 or 16 blocks over here. And then you just gotta build a border around it, and then fill the same thing up likewise. Once you got it roughly half done, you can see that the zombified piglins start spawning. But what you gotta really make sure you don't do is hit them. Now you need to come 3 blocks above and build it so there's a 2-block gap, and do the exact same thing, build 16 blocks this way, 16 blocks that way, and then 16 blocks that way, and then fill in the entire thing, and you have both your spawning platforms done. Now you can do 3 might be a good number, but 2 is all that's needed. However, if you want it quicker, the more layers you build, and you can also expand out around a circular way if you get a lot more. But all that's needed is these two platforms. So what you gotta do is just follow this again, and you're golden. Once you have this done, you can start building the side areas. Build about 2 stone out, or cobblestone, and then build this up to its around this level. And then in the middle here, it's probably a good idea to build it with glass. You don't have to, but I often like to. So you just build it, make sure you leave a 2-block gap, and then make sure you have areas here. Now, you're gonna be able to prevent a bottleneck if you place a trapdoor here, because usually mobs think they can walk on trapdoors if they're like this, and they fall through. It's a very common way to like cheat the system. Then what you want to do is build some slabs on top of here to stop spawning. Now what you're gonna have to do is to spawn proof this area. So every 4 blocks you need to cover this with half slabs so you can stop ghasts from spawning. Because if ghasts spawn, they are gonna like completely pummel the area. So like place 1 here, then build out 4 blocks, and then do it again, and then keep doing that until you're near the edge, and you have to have it right on the edge to stop ghasts. So just gonna keep this up until you have it done, and that should spawn proof everything. Okay, so this is the whole spawning platform done. You can build this out of magma blocks if you want, but you're going to be walking over it to get to and from while you build it, so you may as well use cobblestone, or you can replace it later. Now, the next thing to do now is to get a zombified piglin and to trap him. So, maybe a piece of stone here, and then you can build some glass around here, like so. And then what you will want is a space out this way, so they can have a good line of sight. And you can use a slab here if you like, because the main thing you need is a good line of sight. And you can also put slabs here. A top slab is better. And then you want to leave a gap around this area. And then this will help you to be able to like hit the piglin, and then the zombified piglin, and then he can see his brethren over there, and they'll see him, and then they'll aggro and come down here to slay you. So all you gotta do is to like wrangle a zombified piglin here. Or sometimes if you're lucky, if you build it before you build this, and you wait a little bit, sometimes one can spawn, and then you can take advantage of it. Okay, so I've got this piglin in here, and I've named him, so now he won't despawn. And you can use a boat too, because when there's zombified piglins in the boat, they won't despawn either. But you gotta make sure their line of sight is available with all the piglins over there. So otherwise the whole thing is not gonna work. Now the next thing you need to build is the actual killing area. Start by building 2 blocks this way, then place a hopper facing into that block. Although it has to be lower than that, so I better do it like this. And then like place the hopper, because it needs to be in line here. And then place a hopper here, and a hopper here. And then all the other hoppers you need to place here. And then you need to place 5 lines by 3, so that's about 15 hoppers. And then this should be enough to collect anything in the killing area. It's a bit hard to shift, but this should be enough to get everything in the killing area. And if you'd like, you can place some back here for some extra coverage. Now, you don't have to place more, but sometimes it gets better coverage to stop as many items from getting into your inventory. Nothing can spawn on top of a hopper, so you should be fine with that. So, actually it might be better to add a couple more hoppers for more coverage. But now that you got the hoppers done, you can, like, temporarily remove these blocks. Because when you build the sorting system, you're going to either build it below here, or you can use a item elevator and build it above along the side. It depends on, like, what you think find better. But I like to leave enough room for an enchanting table and some tools around this area. It allows it to be more practical, so you can just come here and enchant all your stuff so you don't have to go back and forth to your base. Okay, so now what you want to do is get some cobblestone, you place 2 blocks here, and then you place some blocks all around this area, and this is going to be where the piglins sit. Then you need to place some half slabs. Oh, I built it a block too far back because I forgot about the additional... Wait, he got out? Oh, I broke the block. That should hold you in better? Okay, so... like, fix that little mistake I made, so it needs to be here, because it needs to be, like, this is like the spawning area, and then this is where the piglins sit, and you need to build it here, and then you add some slabs around the sides. This is to, like, make it harder for the piglins to get to you, and make it easy for the items to get into the hoppers. And then you can do a little bit around the sides, but this area needs to be clear for the pistons. And then what you want to do is get some glass and go here, here, and here. So this will stop the piglins from coming to you, but the glass won't stop them from going. The glass will stop them from going through while the pistons kill them. And then what you want to do back here is you want to place 2 sticky pistons. Now it's often a good idea to place these before the stone. And then over here you can like build a platform that goes over them a little bit. And then you want some stairs so you can like, the piglins can be led up to the area. So like this ought to do it. And then what you want to do is surround this whole thing with glass to make sure the piglins can't escape. Okay, so I've surrounded most of the area, but the stairs. Now the stairs you want to take care, because sometimes the piglins can jump around and get on top of the glass, and then if they do that, you're in trouble. So make sure you have enough space that they can't just jump like this. You don't have to go like all out, but just enough that you can't just walk and jump. Because piglins aren't super smart, so it shouldn't matter that much, so 1 block of clearance should be enough. And then once you do that, you can just build this all the way out till you get to your area. So this should be a good guardrail for the zombified piglins. It's also a good idea to add some guardrails along the sides. So if you place a slab here and a slab here, you can see that you can do this, but don't punch the pigmen in survival, that's horrible. You can push them off, but don't punch them off. So once you have it like this, upper slab and lower slab, this is enough that the piglins, zombified piglins can still see you, but they can't just walk off. So this is gonna help funnel them to the right area so they don't all just do a lemming. And then you can do the same for the top. Now all you need to do is to implement the redstone. So what you want to do is put a block here, and it might be a good idea to cover this to make sure they don't like glitch through the back. And then further down here, now what you need to do if you want to do this is while shifting on the ladder, you can like build downwards and then like destroy the blocks, and then you can like scaffold off this area and then like build off your redstone here. So after you have a block placed here, you can power it by a torch, and this should power, no, this doesn't power both pistons. You can do it like this, and then you can place a block here, it's actually better, and then this should power both pistons. And then what you want to do is come down here and start building your redstone signal. So, it doesn't matter exactly how you branch it, as long as it gets to its area. But if you branch it directly, you will need a target block. Because, like, you can't just place and expect to go right into it. And then what you want to do is pull your redstone roughly around this area. And then you can start building your ether hopper timer. So an ether hopper timer needs about this much space on this side, and this much space on this side. Now what you want to do is place 2 hoppers. The hoppers have to face into each other. They need to place comparators here and here, blocks here and here, redstone here and here, sticky pistons here and here, and then you got a redstone block here. Now what you also want to do is place 1 block on, if I remember right, you want it in the off position. You need it here, and then off this side you can add a chain to a NOT gate, and then this can wrap around to a lever on a lamp here. Once you have this whole thing done, you can test it by placing 30 or half a stack of items. You don't really need exactly half a stack, I like to do 30. So place that in, and then wait for it to go to the other side. And hopefully this is the right way it's built. Maybe I've offset it. Well, it doesn't really matter if the pistons are in or out, but often it's better to have the pistons start out. And this block should be powered. Maybe I'll just put some redstone here and move this up one. I forgot that's how you power blocks. So now this should be stuck good, and it's in the right area. So now what you want to do is build a redstone signal off here to power the torch, and then this can wrap around. And then what you probably want to build is a redstone lamp with a lever on it, and this can be used to power the entire redstone contraption. And then you can take your redstone signal off from here, and then wrap it around, and then this should all work. So once I put this into here, better make sure this is no more than 15 blocks, so you need a repeater. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Need a repeater here. This should still work though. And now if I flick this should be all the redstone done. So now it's on. These pistons should go, and then the piglins will drop. And then they should eventually get crushed to death. So this should be a good test case. Yes, it is a horrible noise. And that should be good. So this is all the redstone done. But what you need to do is spawn-proof the redstone by placing slabs above it, like this. And then you also need to place slabs above here to make sure nothing spawns here. Then place a slab here, a slab above here, and then slabs all along this line. So remember, you do not want piglins to be able to get to you. Otherwise, like, they can kill you, and the whole point of this farm is redundant. So this should be enough stuff to be able to stop zombified piglins from spawning anywhere. And this should now be completely ready to test. Now, it's actually a better idea to let the piglins see, so I'm going to transfer this block here. So this should be better, and the piglins should be able to see. And I'll probably do the same thing this direction too. So this should allow the piglins to see you better and allow them to see the others better. So this should all be good. So now I can transfer to survival mode, and I should be able to test. Now if you have one in a boat, it should generally be on this side with no redstone blocking the way to the other piglins. But I may as well throw some snowmen at both. And if I built this right, the piglins should not be able to get to me. And now I'll just turn this thing back on. And I'll just AFK here a little while to make sure it all works. Okay, so I've been here for about 4 minutes, and I've already got 30 XP. Now, generally it might take longer, it might take shorter, but it does do what it says. 5 minutes will get you 30 XP worth. Now, what I often like to do if I want to make this a commercially available product, when I'm saying SMP, you can build an ether hopper pulse extender off here with a 5-minute timer, and it can be activated by like diamonds or something, or even a pass that you can buy. Although, like, for redstone of that type, it's a good idea, if you know it, but I'll do some tutorials of that type of stuff in later videos in my redstone tutorials, but so far this is all I've got. But here you can see the basic XP grinder is working, but now what you need to do is, like, build your enchanting stuff and stuff, and I'm going to show you how to build the item sorter in a little bit. If you can see this whole thing works, I'm turning it off, it's too loud. But yeah, the main reason you need an item sorter is this thing will usually get packed up by mostly golden swords. So it's not a good idea to, like, leave it like this. This is why an item sorter is good. So I'll show you how to build that now. Also, these hoppers are completely redundant, because I thought they'd stop, like, items from, like, going into yourself, but no, unfortunately not. But they do help improve this guy's line of sight view, I believe, so that's also good. And it seems that a real piglin is made into the system, probably spawned on one of these blocks right here. Oh well, it doesn't matter too much if there's one, but if there's a huge amount, it will affect productivity. Now for the next part, you need to measure about 5 blocks. This is going to be where all your chests are that store your items. Now I generally recommend using 2 for nuggets, 1 for ingots, and 2 for rotten flesh. But if you don't want rotten flesh, you can only do 3 lines just for the gold. And then the rotten flesh can be destroyed in the system that will destroy all the golden swords. Now what you're going to need to do is to come here and build some scaffolding around 3 blocks below here, and then it will help you with anything you need to do down here. So what you need to do is actually come to this hopper. I built it a bit wrong. What needs to happen is it needs to come down 1 more. So what you need to do is place a hopper down here, and then place a chain around here that will lead to roughly over this way. And then you can replace all these blocks with hoppers. And then this will help you when you get the hoppers from here to your sorting system. Now the reason they have to be a little bit lower is so when you put your composters on these, see composters help prevent lag. The composters will allow you to be able to prevent the lag without affecting the line of sight. So you gotta make sure all the hoppers get in, and then you can just throw an item in to test it makes it all the way to here. Which that's good. And then all you need is to cover this thing with composters. So now that will allow you to be able to do this without lag and without preventing the line of sight. And then once you're over here, you can start building your dropper system here. Now for the dropper system, what you need to do is you need to place a dropper here facing up. And then you need to place about 5 more on top of here. Because this should be enough to get it above the area. So these 3 blocks will be for the chests. And then, so yeah, these 3 are for the chests. This is for the hopper, that will be where the filters. So yeah, this should be enough. And then down at this hopper, what you need to do is place a comparator here. And then you need to place a block here. Then you need to place redstone on top of this block. A block here to help power. And then you can place a torch elevator here. So this will be what powers the item elevator. Then you need to place a block here. And down here you need to place a block with some redstone. Then you need to place a block on the side, a block here for the repeater, and another block here. So place a piece of redstone here, and a repeater on 2 ticks. And this should be the right timing for the whole hopper system. So what you want to do is you need to come off here and then start placing some blocks around this area. See, this 5 is going to be where the decoders are going to go. And then what you want to do is come off this way and then place another dropper into an area with either lava or fire. And this will destroy all the excess golden swords that this produces. So you might want to get some lava here. And then over this way, all you need to do is place some hoppers going this way. And these will all go in here. And then you can build the same circuit that I built there, as long as you make sure it doesn't power the hoppers. Or you can just run a normal timer here. Okay, place a dispenser facing upwards, such as this. It'll make it easier. Then place your lava on top in a bowl to make sure that it doesn't do anything. And then you can place some composters above the hoppers there to help prohibit lag. And now what I should be able to do from here is come down here, build off to the side, build, and then do the same circuit I built earlier. That is by placing a comparator here, facing the right direction without destroying everything. Okay, can I do it from down here? There we go. And then place that into a block with redstone on top of it. This goes into here with redstone down here. This goes to a block here, which goes into a repeater on 2 ticks. and then this goes into redstone going in this direction, and then this should work if I place a bunch of items. So that will automatically throw all your items away. And stop, like, all the sorts. So now that we've got that done, we can start building the actual item filters. Okay, to build the item filters, come here, and for the 5 in the middle, place some blocks here. And then what you're gonna need to do is place some hoppers facing this way. And then this should be the basis from what you're gonna do. Then you need to come down one more block. And then you need to do the following. You need to place blocks here and here. Place a block down here along the same area. Then place, like here, it's actually a good idea to place the repeaters now. So what you want to do is place, just double checking how this works. What you want to do is place some blocks here, actually, and place some torches here to power this block, which will lock these hoppers. And then you want to place some blocks off to the side down here. And then what you want to do is place a bunch of repeaters like so. And then place some blocks here. And then some blocks over here. And all you have to do is cover this whole thing with redstone. Except here. So this should look like this. And then you just gotta place some comparators around here. And then this should be the item filters all set up. And I hope this doesn't do anything strange here, but it shouldn't. And if it does, I'll just have to move this to the other side. But it might do some weird stuff to here. So maybe it's a good idea to have 2 blocks here. And now, what you want to do is start filling in all the hoppers and the chests. So what you want to do is actually, like, place blocks down this area. And then around the back, you need to place hoppers while shift clicking into all these blocks. And then you can destroy these blocks and then place a bunch of double chests. And this should be all the item storage done. So then you just have to shift while you place your chests down. And then you can shift while on top of the chests. Make sure you click the chest you want it to be next, otherwise it becomes a single chest. And you just need to do this for the whole thing. And then that should be everything done for the item sorter. So now all you gotta do is set the whole thing up. Now for the item filtering, you're gonna need 2 stacks of golden nuggets, a stack of gold ingots, and 2 stacks of rotten flesh. So what you need to do is you need to come up to the filter hoppers, which are the ones that connect to the comparators, and you need to place in your nuggets, and then right click and slide to all the placeholder items are done, and then do this for all the rest. Now you can do like 2 or 3 of the placeholder items if you want to limit how much of the other item you need, but it depends on circumstance, how many items you have, and how you want your sorters to work. But this is probably one of your better ways to get it done. I mean, you can do 2 or 3 stacks, but you gotta make sure that the hoppers don't, like, divert single strength, or this will power too many, and then it will start to filter too much from both items. So, like, item sorters are kind of finicky. So, this setup here works fine. And you can use semi-stackable items here, such as ender pearls and snowballs. In fact, it might be better to do so, but it's more finicky naming all the ones you need. So item sorters, I'm going to do a later video on them. Okay, now once you have all this done, you need to place slabs on top of all the solid blocks and the blocks that redstone components are placed on, so that this doesn't like, allow for spawning, and then you need to do the same thing above all your comparators in redstone in the item sorter. Fortunately, slabs generally don't really affect redstone powering, because they are transparent blocks, but can't use real blocks, otherwise some of the redstoning will short and stuff. And then do the same thing over here. And then one above this torch will do. And then, just for good measure, you can place composters on top of here to prevent lag spikes. And then this should be everything for this pigment grinder completely and utterly done. And just remember that if you have this guy, it's probably better to have him over here. Make sure they have a good line of sight. And if there's a bit of trouble, you can put a piglin or two in boats, like, above here to make it even better. So there are a few ways to make sure this is done. And now, everything should be done. And this thing should be completely ready to go. Anyway, this should be the end of this video. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did enjoy it, please leave a like. Also, subscribe to the channel to show some support. And I hope you enjoy this, and I'll see you all in the next episode. This is 867716, and I'm signing off. So long!